Hola lovelies, this is Zoe and I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about the rapper Bad Bunny again. And the first time I talked about Bad Bunny, I talked about how he got backlash because Jay-Z wanted him to headline the Super Bowl. And in this video is pretty much the same thing. He's getting more backlash from Maga, the Maga community. And I had seen different articles. Like one was about how they was going to make sure to have ice, at the Super Bowl. This time I found out, I have an article that said Trump's advisor says ICE agents will be at Super Bowl for Bad Bunny's halftime show. And it says it's so shameful they pick someone who seems to hate America. And the second article I found said that Bad Bunny fires back at Super Bowl backlash with Spanish warning to Maga fans. And last but not least, I found an article that says Tomi Lahren falsely says Bad Bunny isn't American while criticizing NFL for a halftime show choice. And it's disgusting that America has a problem with an American man headlining the Super Bowl, but I'm not surprised because, they have a problem with anybody who's not a white American. And they have a problem with Latinos, people in color in general, but especially Latinos, because they think all Latinos are immigrants, and they hate the fact that most of us speak Spanish. Somebody said that he hates America, and they said this because he refused to tour in the United States. And I don't think he did that because he hates America. He did that because he was in support of his fellow Latino brothers and sisters who are being deported. And he's just like everybody else, he's watching the news, so he's seeing how badly America are treating Latinos. And even though he's American Latino, he's of course he's going to support Latinos because that's what he is. And basically Bad Bunny responded to the MAGA community who had a problem with him performing. He basically told them that you have 4 months to learn Spanish. And in this article it said right here, Puerto Rican rapper Bad Bunny did not hold back as he hosted the season premiere of Saturday Night Live on October 3rd and made a point of calling out MAGA idiots who have been criticizing his upcoming Super Bowl halftime show. During the first episode of season 51, the 31-year-old took to the stage where he started off by talking about his recent residency in Puerto Rico before turning to the topic of his being named the Super Bowl halftime performer for 2026. Since he was announced as the performer, there have been several criticisms from many who have been left feeling that choosing him was a middle finger to MAGA football fans, as he sings nearly exclusively in Spanish. It comes after Caroline Levitt was caught off guard and gave an honest response to Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. Now he appeared to respond to the backlash in his opening monologue, where he seemed to warn those critics they should prepare for the show. I'm really excited to be doing the Super Bowl, and I know that people around the world who all love my music are also happy. He started before switching to Spanish, which he then spoke in exclusively for around 20 seconds. The part in Spanish translated to especially all the Latinos in the entire world and here in the United States. All the people who have worked to open doors, more than an accomplishment of mine, it's an accomplishment for all of us demonstrating that our hard work in this country will never be taken away from us or erased. For his warning to his critics, he then switched back to English, saying, "And if you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn." His being named the headliner has led to an intensified spotlight, and political controversy has also broke out since after Donald Trump advisor Corey Lewandowski recently responded sharply to Bad Bunny's Super Bowl booking. He declared that ICE agents would be present at the event, tying the decision to the artist's vocal criticism of immigration enforcement. At the White House, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked to weigh in on whether ICE deployment would occur at the Super Bowl. She responded that there is no tangible plan to do so. When pressed further, she addressed criticism and speculations about whether Bad Bunny's booking would provoke immigration enforcement responses. She said, "Well, look, I know there are many in this room who are very anxious to hear the president's response to Bad Bunny being the halftime show. So I won't get ahead of him. I will reveal what he feels about this next time you all ask him a question. You're welcome to do that. I have my own feelings on that, but that's not what I'm up here to talk about. As far as ICE being at the Super Bowl, as far as I'm aware, there's no tangible plan for that in store right now. However, of course, this administration is always going to arrest and deport illegal immigrants when we find them. They're criminals. We're going to do the right thing by our country," she said. That comment came during a press briefing related to the ongoing government shutdown and debates over healthcare and immigration policy. Several other Maga faces, including Donald Trump and Tomi Lahren, both made comments insinuating they were unaware Puerto Rico was a U.S. territory, claiming Bad Bunny was not American. It comes after news that Bad Bunny could bring a very controversial artist on stage during his halftime show. Okay, and the second article I wanted to talk about was the one about Tomi Lahren. And Tomi Lahren, some of y'all probably this is a name I haven't heard in a long time. The last time I heard about her was probably like around 2016 when Trump got elected the first time. And I was surprised. I thought, she had probably gave up, but no, she's back, and she had something to say. She's Republican and she's proud. She's a proud MAGA woman, and I know in the past she said ignorant things. She came for a lot of people from the Blk American community, but this time she's talking about Latinos and specifically Bad Bunny, and she feels that he shouldn't be performing at the Super Bowl because he's not an American, which he is. All you have to do is just Google if you don't know, instead of just blurting out stupid stuff. But a lot of people don't think that we are American, and yes, we are. Like Puerto Rico is an American territory, and I said that this is the stuff, we should have learned back in school. If you ever took geography class, and I know that the American school system sucks, so, a lot of people wouldn't know this, but, all you have to do is Google instead of going online and saying stupid stuff and making yourself look ignorant. And she's not the first one, because Trump doesn't think that Puerto Ricans are American. And I remember a couple of years back when he went over there to Puerto Rico, he said that he spoke with the president of Puerto Rico. And I'm like, well, you are the president of Puerto Rico. I think he spoke with the governor. But right then and there, he never claimed or considered us as American. But let's get into this article about Tomi Lahren. So in this Newsbreak article, it says Tomi Lahren falsely says Bad Bunny isn't American while criticizing NFL for a halftime show choice. It says Fox News host Tomi Lahren mistakenly said Bad Bunny isn't an American artist, accidentally revealing she didn't know Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. The moment came during a Tuesday episode of her podcast. Tomi Lahren is Fearless, right-wing commentator, interviewed progressive pundit Crystal Ball. During the discussion, Lahren discussed the Puerto Rican superstar's upcoming Super Bowl halftime appearance, saying he's not an American artist. And somebody from Twitter had said, haven't seen Tomi Lahren in ages, but she's still dumb as 8. Ball quickly corrected her. He's Puerto Rican. That's part of America, dear. Lahren briefly faltered before recovering and shifting the topic to Bad Bunny's political stances. Do you have any problems with his anti-ICE sentiments? She asked. Ball replied, America agrees with him on that. The exchange went viral on social media with users mocking Lahren for the blunder. CNN's Jake Tapper and political strategist Maria Cardona also weighed in on Friday, with Cardona quipping, she needs to crack a book. Laren's gaffe arrives aimed a new round of conservatives outraged over the 31-year-old Puerto Rican artist performing at the Super Bowl have complained that Bad Bunny, born Benito Martinez Ocasio, often raps in Spanish and has previously voiced concerns about touring in the U.S. due to ICE activity. There was the issue of effing ICE could be outside my concert, Bad Bunny told ID magazine, explaining that he wanted his fans to feel safe. Despite his outspoken views, Bad Bunny is a U.S. citizen, as are all Puerto Ricans by birth. That fact didn't stop Laren's comments from reigniting conversations about widespread misconceptions regarding Puerto Rico's status. As Ball summed it up during their exchange, I'm not that knowledgeable about him, but it seems fine and I don't see why it's such a big deal. He seems like a great American artist. And that was all for that article. So as you can see, that Tomi had a problem with an American artist performing at the Super Bowl just because he speaks Spanish, or mostly his music is in Spanish. And the woman who she was talking to, Crystal Ball, had to correct her, saying that he is an American citizen. Puerto Ricans are an American citizen by birth. And once Tomi Lahren, once she found out, of course, she felt stupid, but then she tried to change the subject and talk about his political stances, just like Crystal Ball was saying, how that the reason why Bad Bunny doesn't want to perform in America, and the real reason why Bad Bunny didn't want to perform in the USA, it wasn't because he hated America. He just didn't want ICE coming to his concert and attacking his fans. He wanted his fans to feel safe. And I feel like he's, a good person. I never met him personally, but he seems like a good person. And I said that Bad Bunny has more compassion for people, unlike Donald Trump. More nice of him to do that, because, since he's a Latino artist, of course, majority of his fans are going to be Latinos, and majority of the Latinos there, I wouldn't say that most of them would be immigrants, because we do have American-born Latinos, like they could be Colombians born here, or Cubans born here, Mexicans born here, and etc. But he basically just didn't want ICE. It could have went left. There's a lot at concerts. You didn't want nobody people concerts getting beat up and arrested just because of the ICE has a trying to get rid of Latinos and whatnot. But I feel like that they're gonna keep talking about it, and they're already trying to stop it, because I heard that a lot of Trump supporters are trying to sign a petition to get Bad Bunny removed from the Super Bowl, and I don't know if that's possible, and I hope that the people who's in charge of the Super Bowl don't give in and do that, because that would be disappointing. If they tell Bad Bunny he's performing, but then it'd be like, oh, never mind, because there's too much backlash, and they end up getting like some white American country singer to do it instead. And I feel like that will also cause backlash too, because a lot of people, not just Latinos, but a lot of like white and Black Americans and Asian Americans who like Bad Bunny, they might try to riot, because it's like you telling me you're going to perform at the Super Bowl and then you take it back and replace them with a white American, which is very racist. But the United States is known for this. But I hope that doesn't happen, because I wanted him to perform, and he's gonna make, if he does perform, he's gonna make history, because he will be like the first American artist to perform only in Spanish. And somebody brought up on Instagram about how America had no problem with foreigners performing at the Super Bowl in the past, but they have a problem with an American citizen like Bad Bunny who's going to perform. Okay, so here's the post right here by I am Day Madison, and she tagged 5 others. On this post, it says Rihanna, not a U.S. citizen. We all know she's from Barbados, and she performed at the Super Bowl. Shakira, not a U.S. citizen, from Colombia, and she performed at the Super Bowl. Coldplay, not U.S. citizens, and they performed at the Super Bowl. The Who, also not U.S. citizens, and they're from the UK. The Rolling Stones, also from the UK. Paul McCartney is also from the UK. And then U2, they're from Ireland. But in the past, a lot of Americans had no problem with these artists playing at the Super Bowl, but they have a problem with Bad Bunny, who's a U.S. citizen. And right here they said Puerto Rico, which is a U.S. territory, so Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens by birth. It was kind of funny that, I guess because Shakira been in the industry for years, and she has songs in both English and Spanish. I know that she always makes an English version, and she's crossed over way back in the night. She's been in industry for years, so I guess a lot of people don't mind her because she has songs in English. And same for J-Lo. I know J-Lo, she's Puerto Rican as well, but they had no problem with Shakira and J-Lo headlining the Super Bowl. And I said, well, what's the problem? They're Latino too. And at least with J-Lo, she's a U.S. citizen, but with Shakira, she's a Colombian. I know she did get her U.S. citizenship, but still, they had no problem with J-Lo or Shakira doing the Super Bowl halftime, but they have a problem with Bad Bunny. And down here it says, I am Day Madison. She said Maga is big mad that Bad Bunny is taking the Super Bowl stage because he's not American and he doesn't sing in English. And I feel like that's the real problem. They're just mad because none of his songs is going to be in English. They basically saying they want to hear songs in English because that's the language that they understand. And it says, let me say this louder for the folks in the cheap seats. Bad Bunny is a U.S. citizen born in Puerto Rico, period. Puerto Ricans have been U.S. citizens by birth for over a century. And so that's the reaction. And I have more, but I don't feel like making the video as long as it's already going to be. But of course, people are still big mad that an American man is performing at the Super Bowl, all because most of his music is in Spanish. And I would say, as a Latina myself, I'm not even gonna let them, I'm not even gonna let them make me mad. I'm gonna still continue to support. And I would say just like Bad Bunny says, you have 4 months to learn Spanish. Suck it up and shut up. And I hope this wakes up a lot of Latinos who voted for Trump. And ever since he got in the office, he has shown the Latino community how much he dislikes us. But that's all I have to say in this video. Please comment and tell me what you think about the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.